Hi, it's Cammy. Charlie talks football.
Hello everyone and welcome back to Charlie Talks Football. Now England are through to the semi-finals. Southgate's job gets saved again. I do not know how we are in the semi-finals. Do you, Dad?
I mean, we're scraping through. It's awful to watch, you know, and he is winning games, but the players look like they've been sort of handcuffed or had reins put on them because they're not playing their natural style or ability that they usually play, which is really frustrating because we've got so many players with talent, but they're just not performing. We're winning, but it's boring to watch. And if I think Marcelo Bielsa's come out with a video today about football and how sometimes now it's changing and it's quite boring to watch because teams are so you know, they just want to play safely, and you know, you've got to let the shackles off and let players express themselves and promote players who will go past players or do things differently. And I don't want to watch it if it's like that, Charlie.
I tell you what's shocking, we only had one shot on target in that whole 90 minutes. We've got one of the best leagues in the world. We've got some of the best players in the world. I think we've got one of the best squads in the Euros. I think we've got a better squad than Spain. I think we've got a better squad than France, and France haven't even been playing very well. And we're scraping through. I mean, if we didn't have Bellingham, we would have been out against Slovakia. If we didn't have these individual players, would be out of the tournament.
That's right. I mean, look at Cole Palmer when he came on. I thought he did really well, changed the game. The likes of Gordon can run at players, and defenders hate players that have pace and run at them and go past them. And at the minute, it's just so pedestrian. It's passing it around the back. It's really boring to watch. Sometimes we do things that look good, but it's just, I mean, I don't get it. I'm happy that we've gone through, but it's not nice to watch, Charlie. And you know, you want to watch exciting football, and you want to win, but I don't want to win all the time and it to be boring and drab. You know, we want to be entertained. Football's about entertaining people. It's about people expressing themselves on the pitch. And you know, as I keep saying, Bielsa in his video, if you watch it, I think it's on Twitter, talks about this in football and how players have been sort of restricted in the way they play. You know, we need to get the likes of Foden playing his best. Kane, who scored over 30 goals in Germany, looks woeful. He's coming into our box and defending, and he's coming deep. He looks slow. We're not playing to his strengths, so you either take him out and put someone in like Watkins or someone in like Ivan Toney, who've got a bit about them and who can give you a different they'll run in the channels, they'll try and go past players, and we need that in the team.
Yeah, like I said, he's got to drop Kane. He won't drop Kane because he's the captain, but he's got to, because Ivan Toney, if you put in someone like Ivan Toney or Watkins, it completely changes the game, because in that game, Kane was dropping deep and there was times where he turned into a centre-back clearing balls, and that's obviously not what he's got to do. And of course, because he's dropping in all the time, there's no space for players like Phil Foden and Bellingham to create. So if we played Ivan Toney against the Dutch, which I don't think he will, it would completely change the game. It would stretch their defence.
I mean, I'm not having a go at Kane. He's a fantastic player and striker, but he's not doing it for England. And you say, oh yeah, he's doing work off the ball for the team, and he comes into midfield and builds up the play. But that's not his job. His job is to be up top. His job is, you know, Saka got into some great positions, and Kane's movement in the box was poor. And yes, Saka sometimes I think is a bit weaker on his right foot when he's crossing it, but he can score coming inside from the right with his left foot. You know, can you try Saka on the left, and will his balls in the box be better? Can Kane's movement be better? You've got to anticipate and make a run to get into the space to try and score. And you know, we don't look like scoring many goals, and we did great on penalties. We took well, we kept our nerve. You can't complain with that. So I'm not having a go at the players. It's just you want the team to be performing at the level it can perform, and we've not done that in this Euros.
And I think as well, we're so predictable. I mean, me and my dad were obviously watching the game, and England were just passing it around. We're constantly trying to get it to Saka, and it must be so easy for opposition teams to play against players like Harry Kane and Foden, which it shouldn't be, but it is, because this manager's tactics were far too cautious and far too safe, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but you've got to take risks. And I think the most important point I want to get across to you guys in this video is that once we went 1-0 down, we actually played better when we concede, because the players seem to disregard Southgate's tactics and just go for it. We looked a better team when we conceded.
And that sometimes happens because, you know, when you're getting beat 1-0, you've got to score a goal, so you have to take risks and you have to do things a little bit differently. But if we'd done that early on in the game, we should have far more than Switzerland to beat them and beat them comfortably. And it's as if we're being very, very cautious and very, very defensive minded. You know, we're much better than them. No disrespect to them. If our players are on fire and playing to the top of their ability, we should be beating them. And you know, it's so boring to watch. So we're pleased we've got through, but there's got to be a marked performance, an improvement against Switzerland. Sorry, not Switzerland, against Holland or the Netherlands, whatever you want to call them. You know, and then we can get to the final. And obviously, Spain and France, whoever plays them, it's in the final. It's going to be a really tough game. But if we even win this Euros playing crap, boring football, it's great that we've won it.
He's got to go.
But that's not football. It's not enjoyable. Yes, you want to win, you want to celebrate, but you know, you want to be entertained.
Exactly. And as well, I think we've got to talk about Southgate, because he's to blame. It's not the players. We've got fantastic players who are playing in one of the best leagues in the world. You've got Phil Foden, who's had a wonderful season at Man City, looking like a League Two Championship level player. You've got Harry Kane, one of the best strikers in the world, banging in goals for Bayern. I think he's almost scored 40 goals, and he looks like, again, a Championship level striker. And you think why? And the reason is because the way we don't play to Harry Kane's strengths, do we? Which is why I said someone like Ollie Watkins or Ivan Toney would suit our game. But I wanted to ask you, Dad, about the substitutions, because why did he wait? It's so frustrating.
Again,
why does he wait?
You know, I think I put a post on Facebook about this, is that he's reactive, not proactive.
Exactly.
And by that I mean, you wait for something bad to happen and then he's forced, his hand's forced, and he's got to change it. You've got to be proactive and think, this isn't working, I'm going to be brave and I'm going to shake it up. And even if I have to take some of my top stars off, that's what I'm going to do, because you've got to do what's best for the team. And you know, sometimes you have to do that. You might have to, you know, we're saying he potentially could drop Kane and start with Toney. That would be a big call and a brave call. But sometimes you've got to do these things. Sometimes you've got to do these things. I mean, Kane will probably start, 99% chance of him starting in the next game. And you know, he might do really well and score. But on the evidence so far, that has not been the case. So to me, you have to consider changing it, but I don't think he will.
And also, Southgate's apparently meant to be one of the highest paid managers at the Euros, where us as fans could do a better job. I was saying to my dad...
I don't know about that.
That's great. I said to my dad, if I was manager at England, at half-time I would have took Harry Kane off and brought on Watkins and brought on Toney, and I guarantee you we would have scored in the second half. We're good enough to beat them, and yet we take the game extra time. We'll make it harder for ourselves.
Yeah, it's frustrating, but you know, we are winning. It's not nice to watch. We're in the semi-finals, so we've got to get behind the lads, support them and support Southgate, and hopefully that they can start to perform better and perform to the top level. So fingers crossed we can win on Wednesday night.
Yeah, well, honestly, Dad, you're saying, you know, we've got to support Southgate, which is true, but we're scamming our way through. We should not have gone this far in the tournament. Even if we win the tournament, there's got to be questions asked. He's got to either resign or he's got to be sacked, because I think people will forget. If we win the tournament, they'll be like, oh, this is great, which it is fantastic, because of course England haven't won anything in a long time, but we've still got Southgate, and I think there has to be a change in the way we're playing. I think there was a slight improvement in the way England played, because of course he copied Switzerland's formation.
He tried to match them,
and it certainly went all right. And like I said, I agree with you, the penalty takers were fantastic. England have got some fantastic penalty takers, and I think the squad's definitely improved since the Euro 2020 final. But Netherlands next, it's going to be an interesting one. I think, again, that's another one where it's got extra time written all over it. But play Toney, play Palmer, play Trent, and it won't happen. But like, honestly, Southgate, if you're watching this video, which I doubt he will be, please start Toney, please start Palmer, because we're crying out for a striker who can actually do a bit more than Kane's been doing.
Yeah, but let's fingers crossed for Wednesday night, Charlie. Let's
Yeah.
hope we can win. It'll be interesting to see the game on Tuesday, Spain v France. That'll be
Yeah.
a good game. I think Spain are probably the favourites now for this
Yeah, I agree.
for the tournament. And then, you know, France haven't been great, have they? A bit like England. And again, it's just the football's not been the best to watch. So hopefully we can have two
Yeah.
semi-finals that are entertaining with lots of goals.
And I just wanted to mention, just before we finish off in this video, that we've had such an easy, you know, side of the group. We've avoided the big teams. There's no excuses here. I'm sorry, but like, there's such a massive gap for England to win this Euros. This is such a massive opportunity. And yes, like you said, Dad, Spain are a very good side. But the way we've been playing, if we end up against Spain, which I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but if we end up against Spain, we'll probably play cautious, and Southgate will probably play for pens because we've got fantastic penalty takers. So, but anyway, guys, what are your thoughts on this? What are your thoughts on the England game? I want all your comments. Get your comments down below. Should Southgate drop Kane? Should he start Palmer? Can England win the Euros? We've been disappointed so far. We need to improve, don't we?
We do need to improve. So we hope you're enjoying the scenery, by the way. We're in Sardinia, so we've got the beach behind it. It's really, really hot. It's about 28 degrees. It's going to be 33, I think, tomorrow. So it's really warm here.
Yeah.
We hope you enjoy the change of scenery. And fingers crossed we can get that win on Wednesday night.
Well, thank you guys for watching. See you guys in the next one.
Take care.
Bye.